Are you actually interesting? It's kind of weird how almost everybody thinks they are. I once asked a few friends to rate themselves on a scale from 1 to 10, boring to interesting, and then rate everyone else in the group too. And the result was pretty much the same across the board. People usually see themselves as more interesting than other people see them. So the real question is, how interesting are you actually? First, do you always wear the same kind of outfit in the same kind of situation? And yeah, I'm not talking about work uniforms or anything you're required to wear. I mean, do you have that one pair of jeans, that one t-shirt, that one outfit you basically live in when you hang out with friends? Do people already know exactly how you'll show up to a wedding, a casual dinner, or some random meetup? And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you switch things up a little, if you stop following the same old dress code every time, people will probably start noticing you more. Second, do you actually speak up for what you believe in? Because a lot of people don't. They stay quiet in conversations, meetings, debates, basically anywhere their opinion might matter. And when that happens, people start seeing you like a blank painting. They don't feel like they need to get closer because there's nothing really pulling them in. Try saying what you really think: movies, music, politics, social issues, anything. And make a real case for your opinion. Not to start a fight, just to show that you have one. At some point, somebody is going to call or text you asking what you think about something, and that doesn't mean you're some expert. It just means you might be interesting to talk to. Third, can you read other people's body language? Because sometimes people are too polite to cut you off, even when the conversation is painfully boring and they're obviously ready to move on. And you think they're still interested, so you keep going. But trust me, if you miss the signs, they're probably not going to be eager to talk to you next time. Look for the little things: their feet pointing toward the door, tapping on the table, avoiding eye contact, adjusting their jacket, fiddling with their sleeve, shifting in their seat over and over. That usually means they want the conversation to end. An interesting person doesn't just know how to start a conversation, they also know how to end one smoothly. Fourth, can you tell a joke well? That sounds easy, right? There are millions of jokes online and in books, but not everybody can tell them in a way that actually lands. Some people can tell the same story over and over and still get laughs every time because they just have that timing. And if you don't have that kind of charm, don't force it. Don't try so hard to be funny, because that's usually when you become the person in the room everybody quietly regrets listening to. A better move is to laugh at other people's jokes and appreciate when someone else is funny. That goes a lot further than trying to be the comedian all the time. Fifth, can you draw people into a conversation on their own? Say you're talking with a group, and there's one person who's just sitting there quietly, staring out the window or checking out of the conversation. Do you bring them in? Do you ask them a question and give them a reason to jump in? If you do that often, chances are you're pretty interesting. But if you're talking and nobody seems to want in, or the room goes quiet every time you speak, it might not be the people. It might be the topic. Sometimes the conversation just doesn't fit the moment. And here's the thing: if you were born interesting, good for you. But if not, don't worry. You can still get better at it. Interest is something you can practice. So what about you? If interesting is a 10, what would you give yourself? I'd probably put myself around an 8. Not perfect, but definitely not boring either.